This conference will now be recorded.
So we all welcome you for attending the classes. So yesterday what we have discussed is what is testing all about, what is automation testing, why the concept of automation testing is gaining more popularity in the current scenario, and what is the purpose of automation testing, what are the advantages of automation testing. Those are the points we discussed along with the course content of our course content. So these are the main topics that we have discussed yesterday. So we have seen how much time does automation saves. We have seen how much time does automation save while performing the executions. Clear? Clear for yesterday's people and for today's new people. If you so we are continuing with the topic that we have discussed yesterday. If you have any doubts, you please stop me in the middle. I'll help you answer them. Okay. So this is another graph. So with this graph, what can you understand basically? Madhu, Karthik, Swagatika, Mayank, Srikanth, Raghu. So by seeing this graph, what you are trying to understand? Venkat, Karthik, Madhu. Charan, your voice is pretty low. Can you be louder? It's very low, very low. Sorry? I'm unable to hear you, if you are unable to talk, yeah.
Yes, Rahul, it's showing that difference between manual and automation. When we get the more number of builds, it will take the more number of costs. So for automation, it will reduce the cost for more number of builds also.
Yes. So what you need to understand is but this automation testing is also a software development process. By observing the initial
Yes.
process or by looking at the initial thought process behind the automation, initial work of automation, you should never ever judge that automation will not be feasible for a product. Over the time, it makes your application robust. It makes your scripts robust, easy to understand, and easy to deploy. So the cost remains the same across any number of builds overall. As soon as you approach the go live date or the production build, then at that time also automation cost remains the same. That is the point we all need to do. So Srikanth, go ahead. So Srikanth, go ahead. You were asking something, or Venkat was asking something. I don't know. Venkat, you were asking something, or Srikanth, you were asking something.
No, Rahul, nothing from my side.
Okay. So Srikanth, you were also asking something, right?
Yeah, no issue, Rahul. Actually, your voice is not audible to me. That's why I'm trying to speak with you.
Okay, okay. Now it is audible, right?
Yeah. Now it is fine.
Yeah. So this graph depicts the cost that is spent by a project spent on a testing team. Where if it is manual testing team, then you see the cost incrementally keeps on spiking up, so which will create a burden on the project that you're working on. Whereas if you see automation testing, the cost remains the same no matter what it is. Here and there it remains the same no matter what. Okay. So this is more of a service delivery matrix, which we'll deal with it later. So now we have so many tools. We have so many tools in market with respect to test automation. Like what? Like Selenium, Cyprus, Automation Anywhere, UFT, RPA, Blue Prism, Tosca, Test Case Studio. Clear? These are the main popular tools that are used in the market with respect to automation. Okay. So out of this, what are the special features that is standing out in the market for Selenium and what not for other tools? So Tosca, it is a paid tool where it costs around 80K per user for one license. Clear? Clear? So whenever you see the companies are not so much interested to go for a paid tool in the initial stage because we don't know whether automation is a good strategy or not in some of the companies or some of the projects. Similarly with UFT and RPA, it's a paid tool where license per user can cost around 2 lakhs. Paid tool, and this is also a paid tool, and this is also a paid tool. Clear? How many paid tools are there with respect to automation, test automation? Then we have catalog. Clear everyone? This point? Clear everyone? Venkat, Karthik?
Yes,
Yeah.
So these are the paid tools. So companies are not interested to go towards paid. So now we have 4 tools remaining. If you're not talking anything about the class, you can mute the conference. Madhu.
Yeah, Rahul.
Yeah, Madhu.
Yeah, like it seems like we are getting a background noise. We are not sure like from where it is.
1 minute. Let me see. Now?
Yeah, still
Madhu.
it's there, Rahul. Yeah, still it's there.
Still, actually, it's the same. Now, Madhu.
Yeah, now it got out. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So out of the 9 automation tools we have in the market, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 paid tools are there. So companies these days are not interested to go for any paid tool, especially for automation, because no one knows what is the success rate of using automation in the framework in the current situation. Because we need some experts to handle the automation kind of a scenario. Okay. Then the next thing is the Selenium and Cyprus. Open source tool. So Cypress is an open source tool again. So Test Case Studio is also open source tool. Open source tool. And this is mixed like open and paid tool, open source and a paid tool. It's a mix of it. So out of which the three tools that are popularly used is Selenium, Cypress, and Catalog these days in the market. Okay. Clear everyone at this point?
yes, Rahul.
So it's an open source tool, out of which Selenium, Cypress, Test Case to Catalan Studio are the most popular open source tools that are present in the market. So what are the major factors that make Selenium the standout product? Supports multiple browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Opera, etc. Whereas Cypress supports only Chrome and Firefox. Okay. Catalan supports majorly Chrome only. Okay, clear everyone? Clear everyone at this point? Meadow, Tilly, Richa, Mayank, Shrikant, clear? Sunana?
Exactly.
So another interesting thing about these tools is Selenium supports the end user to write the code in Java, Python, Ruby, C hash, JS, etc. Whereas Cypress supports the end user to write the code in JS only. Clear? JS stands for JavaScript. Clear? Clear everyone? So indirectly, if you see, Cypress is trying to inherit the features of Selenium at the end of the day, because Selenium is one of the most flexible tools that we have in the market. It can work for any kind of any kind of a web application which supports automation, because there are some applications in the market where they disable the usage of automation. Okay, there are some applications in the real-time situation where the situation is like where the bot should not be allowed to enter into the system or access the system. There are such situations for that. For those kind of applications, we cannot do any kind of automation. Clear? Clear, everyone?
Yes, Rahul.
Yes.
Yeah. So those are the things with respect to Selenium, why it is the most popular tool in the market. It supports it's supposed to write the code in multiple programming languages, supports us to run the code in various different browsers, easy to use, and the hardware consumed is pretty less Selenium compared to Cypress, because Cypress we need to use the concept of Visual Studio, because Visual Studio itself is a very big tool at the end of the day. Okay. So post that also, Selenium also supports parallel testing. Selenium supports both cross-browser testing and parallel testing. What do you mean by cross-browser testing? Testing the same application in different browsers. That is known as cross-browser testing. Parallel testing means suppose you have 10 test cases. So in general, what we do, we run one test case after the other, right? Now the situation is that we have to run 10 test cases quickly. That means what? 5 test cases should be running simultaneously. After those 5 test cases are completed, then we need to run the remaining 5 cases. Clear? Clear with this point? The concept of parallel testing? Venkat, Shrikant,
Yes.
Karthik, Mank.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, Samir, you have anything to say? So Richa, Sunaina, Raghu, clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah, cool. So these are the main advantages of using Selenium as your automation tool in the market. What are the disadvantages of Selenium? Disadvantages of using Selenium tool. Does not have an inbuilt reporting mechanism. Okay. So there is no inbuilt reporting mechanism for when you are using Selenium tool. Whereas when you use Cyprus, it has some inbuilt reporting mechanism. Cannot automate the testing of audio and video. That cannot be done by any automation tool at the end of the day, but that is a disadvantage. You should always know. When you are using some automation tools, you should also need to know the pros and cons of any tool that you are working on it. So you have seen the pros of automation tool. Now you need to know what are the cons of it. So if you know the limitations, then you can restrict the scope of your automation tool. This limit stating that I cannot automate the testing of audio and video. I cannot do OTP validations, and finger biometric validations. Clear? Cannot perform any image processing activities. What do you mean by image processing activities? Reading the text from the image. So those kind of activities cannot be done by Selenium tool. No integration with any test management tool like Jira, HPALM, etc. Because ultimately what we need to do, we need to link our test cases to a test management tool. Why we need to link our test cases to the test management tool? So that we can update the results in the test management tool at the end of the day. Because whatever the results you update in the test management tool, only people will see and analyze and understand what are the activities that you have done for the particular test case. Okay, clear? Clear, everyone?
Yes, Rahul, clear.
Hmm. You have to use some third-party plugins to generate the reports. Clear? Sometimes it is difficult to handle dynamic applications. Like there are some applications where the UI of the application is ever changing, right? So when you're trying to automate such kind of application, then it is sometimes difficult to handle that kind of a situation. So you need to be smart enough. You need to do some more scripting on it. Last but not the least, having a programming knowledge is must while using Selenium. Clear? As I've told you in the previous class, automation is not about being a master in the tool. You need to become a master of that particular programming language. If you can know the programming language pretty well, then automation is 20% of it. Got the point, everyone? Meadow, Charan, Tilly, Swagatika, Richa, Karthik, Shrikant. Clear?
Okay.
Mike?
Yes.
So these are the advantages and disadvantages of using the Selenium tool. Clear, everyone? Perfect. So before we jump into the discussion about the Selenium family, so before we discuss about software development lifecycle and stuff, let us go through the installation part of our Java first. Let us go through the installation part today so that we can finish this installation part will take some time to finish it. So let us finish the installation part so that we can discuss about other topics tomorrow directly. Okay. So what is the first thing that you need to do? You need to download JDK 1.8. Okay. We are using JDK 1.8. In this, you see this link, Java SE8 archive downloads. Okay. We need to click on this link. So once you click on this link, then you can get the 64-bit installer. I mean, you need to download Windows 64-bit. For other person, like if it's your Windows is 32-bit, Windows 86 installer. If you are using Mac, then you can use this DMG installer. If you are using Linux, then you have to select the correct file as per your OS. Clear, everyone? Clear, everyone?
Yes.
So once you click on this download link, you need to accept this Oracle terms and conditions. Clear? Once you accept this Oracle terms and conditions, then you click on download. Once you click on download, it'll ask you to enter the username and password. Okay? So if you don't have an Oracle account, you need to create an account for it. Or if you are having an Oracle account, you need to sign in with the proper Oracle account credentials so that the JDK will be downloaded in your system. Okay? Got the point, everyone? Got the point, everyone, guys?
Rahul, is it required to create the account in Oracle? Actually,
Yeah.
Java is open source, right?
Yes, it's an open source tool.
Then why you need to log in Oracle again?
So you need to have an Oracle account to download it, because even though Java is open source, the Oracle people want to know who has downloaded, how many users have downloaded the Oracle that's JDK application.
Okay.
Because JDK is part of Oracle now, not part of the Sun Microsystems that we are using
Yeah,
previously.
yeah, no, no, that point. I actually, generally we download the JDK without login.
How do you download? I mean, some of your friends will have the JDK. That is the main reason you can download them. You need not download with
Yeah.
the credentials. Now, suppose you don't have a JDK, how do you download the JDK? That is the thing. Like, it is not the latest version that your friends might
Okay.
not know. So then you need to download it. Venkat, lot of background noises here. Please come to a calmer place. Okay. So far, so good, everyone. How do we download the JDK? Yeah, Cam. Uh, correct me if I'm wrong. The spelling is KAM, right? How do I call you? There, Cam. I couldn't hear you, Cam. Can you type it? So far, so good, everyone. Mayank, Richa, Sunaina, Samir, Charan, Swagatika.
Yeah.
So once you download the Oracle account, what I'll need to do is let me check whether I have downloaded the JDK in my previously. So okay, fine.
Rahul,
Yes.
uh, yeah, can we get the, I mean, like any document, so how to download, and I mean, what you said, like a
The
previous,
best the best option would be to go through the recording again, because we don't maintain any document in general for installations, because we deal with the installation part in the class at a slower pace so that you can understand things.
okay. Yeah, okay, Rahul.
Hmm. So if you have any doubt in installation, you can ask me right away so that I'll go through that step again. Because the installation keeps on changing, the versions keep on changing. So it's very difficult for me to maintain the document right for different versions. So
No,
Charan,
actually,
you have any doubt? Actually, I'm asking. Okay, fine. So Charan, if you want to talk something, please talk. So your voice is breaking, Charan.
No, I mean, you have told to, just go to this website and install. Yeah, so I'm asking about that text, Rahul.
Which one?
No, no, I mean, you have told
Which one
just
you
now,
want to
right,
go
to
for?
just go to, just go to Google and just write, Java 8 and all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, can you provide
Yes.
that text? So which link we have to press at for 32-bit, we have to
See, I
select
mean,
this one.
nothing like that. If just go for search for Java JDK 1.8 download. So what happens later? You will have all the links that is being displayed here, Sharon. So if you see, I always want you to select 8U211 later. So this is the first link that you will always see. The moment you type the word JDK 1.8 download, this is the link that you obviously see. So once you click on this
Okay.
link, automatically they will go to this page. So you need to know what is your current operating system that you're working on it. It is a 32-bit or a 64-bit. So you know the operating system that you're working on your system currently, right? So based on that, I'm clicking on this download button. Clear?
Okay, Rahul. Yeah.
So if you need to have an Oracle account to download a JDK file. If you don't have an Oracle account, you have to create an Oracle account. Clear? Richa, Sunana, Charan, Srikanth, Mayank, Avasti.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Rahul.
So how do we install the Java? Now since I have downloaded the JDK in my system, I'll click on this link. So there'll be a pop-up coming. Do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? So then we click on yes. Since this is a Windows related pop-up, it might not be captured in the recording. Okay. So once this pop-up comes, then we need to click on next. Then ensure that the path of the JDK is default. Do not change the path of the JDK at all. Okay. Then we click on next. So it will install everything by itself. You need not do anything. So then you click on close. So JDK will be installed in your system successfully. Okay. Clear everyone?
Yeah.
So if you want to see whether the JDK is installed properly or not, search for the word CMD, type Java C. Okay, wait. Type Java -version and press enter. So if you are able to see the Java version, then it states that Java is installed properly in your machines. Okay, clear?
Yes, Rahul.
Just a minute, my phone laptop is. So this is how you need to install the JDK, and the coding editor that we will be using here in our project is Eclipse 2203. This is the version that we are using. Okay, we need to use Eclipse 2203 download. Okay, you need to click on this link, then you click on R packages, then download this Eclipse IDE for enterprise and Java developers. Hmm? Clear? Clear
What is the
everyone?
difference between the Java developer and the enterprise Java?
Java developers means you will have basic integrations, like basic integrations of Java basics. Suppose if you use enterprise Java and web developer edition, you will have all multiple plugins related to Java. Like you can use some advanced Java concepts, you can use some advanced versions of Gradle, Git, Maven services, etc. etc. Like This is a package of all the tools. Like Eclipse IDE for Java developers is like a subset of Eclipse IDE for enterprise and Java developers. So this is the main tool. Like this is the main tool which is like a package. This consisting a package of all tools. Clear?
Thank you.
So you need to ensure that your system that you're using is 64-bit all the time, because Eclipse supports 64-bit, not on 32-bit systems. Okay. So you need to click on this link if you are using Windows. If you are using Mac OS, you need to download it based on your operating system. If you are using Linux, you have to download it based on your operating system. Clear? Clear, Samir, Charan, Meadow,
Yes,
Mayank,
yes.
Srikanth.
Yes, Rahul. Yes, clear. Thank you.
Thanks. Then we click on this link. Clear? So any doubts? Since I've already downloaded Eclipse in my system, I need not download it again. Clear? Clear, everyone?
Yes.
So by tomorrow's session, I want everyone to install the JDKs and Eclipses in their system, so that tomorrow we can start with some basic programming. Okay. So this installation part I have told you earlier is just because if I tell something at the end of the class, we might forget things. So if I tell it right in the middle of the class, it will be easy for you to remember and understand what are the topics, what are the things that you need to go after going to home, after the class is done. Okay, clear?
Sure.
So can anyone say what is SDLC, that is Software Development Lifecycle, and what is it all about?
Uh, we can define it like as a process of how a particular software will go in the starting to end. We
Mm-hmm.
define the process of a developer or testing and starting to ending of the complete software.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How about others?
To develop a particular software application, we need to follow some stages and levels to pass.
Okay. Okay. Anything else?
There are certain stages, Rahul. I mean, for the software development.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean those stages are called as software development life cycle. I mean, for the cycle to complete, so we have to go through certain stages.
Okay.
Its main aim to produce a high quality of the software which meets the requirements within a
Okay.
time frame and low cost. Main aim
Oh,
is of that.
okay. 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 Got it. Got it. Any other views from other persons? Any other views, guys? So basically, in a software development life cycle, there are multiple stages that are going through while building a software. So what is the first stage that we are working on? Project kickoff / initiation. What do you mean by this project kickoff / initiation? We are before a project is that means we know that the client, one of our client requires one of our client some people are looking out for a software company who is ready to build the software. So the sales team of a IT company will get to know about this thing, that some companies want the software for that. So the sales team will go to that company and will pitch the software, that this is the advantages of using our software. They do the marketing for us. Got the point when it comes to project kickoff or initiation? Clear, everyone? To
You
market the
can say
product and get
before
the
launching the marketing of that particular product.
yeah, it's before gathering the requirements. The marketing team will go to that particular client and with they pitch their product and say why building the software with our organization is always the best, and they'll ensure that the product is coming to the organization. Clear?
Yes.
Then they do a round of requirements gathering, because once the project is acquired and obtained by the marketing team, then the post sales team will be working on this part called requirement gathering. What do you mean by requirement gathering? Understanding the requirements from the customers of how the product needs to be built. What are the business requirements? What are the business expectations that are required from this kind of software? Okay. Once the requirement is gathered, then they do an analysis. What do you mean by analysis? That have we encountered these kind of requirements before, or is the project? I mean, the project that we are receiving from the customer is same as we have built prior, or not? If it is built as same as prior, what are the difference in requirements from the old customer and the new customer? What are the enhancements? So how much time do we take to complete this project or complete this module? Or how many modules do we need to bifurcate and all this stuff? Clear?
Yes.
Then after the analysis is completed, then they do the design part. What do you mean by design part? They'll design how the data should flow within the application, how the data should pass within the application, and how mock up UI of the screens. How the UI of the screen should be like, look and feel of the UI and the screen. Then based on the design activities, then the developers will develop the product and the development phase, and they send the product for the testing. Once the testing is completed, then they deploy. Deploy means what? Installing the code into a client server. And they do a round of operation and maintenance. Why do we need to do a round of operation and maintenance? No matter how much development and testing is done, at some point of time there is an equal chance for the code to be broken down. So the operations and maintenance team will be looking into it and report any anomalies or errors if they find any. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, yes, Rahul.
Yes,
So
Rahul.
where does the role of automation testing starts? Right from the analysis phase. Why that's the role of automation engineer right from analysis phase? Because if there is any existing framework built, then they'll get to know the difference in requirements of the previous project and the current project. If the requirements are minimal from automation standpoint of view, then the effort spent will be less on that particular project. If there is a complete UI change, they need to analyze how much rework I have to do, how many utilities that I can work on, how can I build the scripts for this kind of application. A thought process will be started. Then the designing phase, they'll understand the mockup UI of the application, and they'll tend to mold the framework accordingly as per that plan. Okay. Then the role of automation relies on the testing cycle, where they test the product and certify it through the bot. Afterwards, they deploy the code and they do a round of operations and maintenance. Okay. Right from analysis phase only, automation team gets involved in all the activities. Clear?
Yeah.
That's
Any
clear.
doubts? Any doubts? Anyone so far? So Naina, Richa, Venkat, Charan, Samir, Raghu.
No, all good.
No, Charan.
Hmm.
No, Rahul.
Tilly, Mayank, Mido, all good?
Yeah, I have a question, please.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
You talked about programming language
Yeah,
before actually learning Selenium.
yeah.
So is it okay for somebody to go study Java first before you
Yes, yes,
come to learn Selenium?
yes,
To
yes,
study Java
yes,
first?
yes, yes. That is what we are doing, Mido.
No, my question is, if somebody has no idea on Java and you want to
Okay,
actually learn Selenium, so you need
okay.
to go for Java classes first before you come
Yes,
to study Selenium?
yes, yes, yes. So first we'll be teaching with all the Java concepts that are required for automation. Then only we are jumping into Selenium concepts as per the yesterday's course plan, Mido.
So if I have no idea on Java,
Doesn't matter. We'll be teaching that from scratch.
thank you.
Thanks.
Hmm.
So this is the SDLC life cycle, and this is one of the most important topics you always need to remember. Okay. So this is software testing life cycle. Could anyone say about this software testing life cycle and its agenda, about the different points with respect to software testing life cycle? Clear? Can anyone explain this point?
Yeah, the first requirement analysis. It is start gathering all the requirements. How the software, what are the how the software will work, what is in the software. So all the informations will come the requirement analysis requirement, and we analysis that requirement by properly. After that, we will do the planning for building the software. How we can build the software. What are the resources are requirement? What the other things are required for that, that need to be proper plan. Then test is development. Then we in the test planning we can also like we can define who will the developer or who will the testing team. So the third, the test is development, will we will write some test cases relevant with that software, how to execute that test cases. And environment setup, like there are two or three environment, like testing environment, dev environment, and pre-prod or prod environment we will set up. Then after that we will execute our testing here in the testing environment, and if all good, so we can close our testing in the last test as a closer.
Okay, okay. How about others?
Uh, yeah, Rahul. So, to perform good testing, so again, as we followed in the development cycle, so for the testing cycle also we have to follow some steps. So, yeah, that is called as STLC. So here, so we will just gather the requirement, and we will just divide the requirement into subparts, and later we will develop the test cases. Like test first test scenarios, and later into test cases, and we'll just divide those test cases into different testers. We will just give those test cases to different testers, and as per the requirement, so we will select the environment, and then we will test it. And yeah, so if all the bugs are fixed, then we'll just close the cycle.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, okay. How about others, or these are the views that everyone is carrying? These are the doubts that everyone is having, or these are the points that everyone is having, or do they have any different points? Venkat, Mayank, Selena, Risha, clear? Any doubts, anyone, before I jump into the next topic?
So did we explain correctly? Did we explain correctly?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Is it like
yeah,
that?
yeah. You
Only
guys,
whatever we
you,
explained?
yeah, you guys have explained correctly. So when it comes to requirement analysis for a testing team, it is bit different from what a requirement analysis that we have from a general perspective for the developers and BS. So we discuss more on the business side, and also we spend a lot of time on gathering the unstated requirements, because there are some unstated requirements where our sales team or the pre-post sales team will not capture. We need to capture those unstated requirements and write it. And the second thing that happens during requirement analysis is whether this requirement is covered as part of the earlier projects, and we need to ensure that we need to implement all the lessons that we have learned. Lessons are, we should ensure not to repeat the mistakes that we have done in the previous project also. Clear? And in planning, it comes how many resources do we need to for the project, how much time do we need to spend, how many test cases are we expecting from this kind of a module or kind of requirement, and how do we ensure that our UAT bug defect count is less than 25%, less than 15%? Clear?
Okay.
Then whenever you want to test your code, there is a separate environment setup. You need to test your application in a separate environment that is dedicated to QA team. Then you need to test your cases on that particular environment. Then you can close the test cycle based on how many issues you have. If you feel that there are more number of issues, you can reject that build stating that, okay, this application or this build is having more bugs, hence I'm not approving to go for further releases. Clear? Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts? Any doubts, anyone?
No, no.
No, Rahul.
Yeah. So tomorrow we will discuss about Selenium IDE tool and how do we write a basic program of Java in the tomorrow session. Okay.
Rahul,
Yes,
can you
Raghu.
share previous session video?
It is
So we
already
are
there
new
in the
to
group.
new.
Okay. Fine. You just okay. Fine. I'll share it to you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Fine. Thank you. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Rahul. Bye.